Back in the 80s and 90s, when I first got into fox bodies, I had one goal in mind: go faster. And over the past decades, I have forgotten, ignored, and even overlooked some of the most important mods for these cars. Now, you might have found a couple rollers sitting in somebody's backyard that you got for cheap, or found somebody's half-built project that you're trying to finish, or you bought a running project that you're just trying to do some upgrades to make it better. So today I'm going to show you 5 mods that make absolutely 0 horsepower that's going to make a big difference in your fox body build. And even Dad's car's got some of these mods that we're going to have to get to, and I'm going to show you here in this video. Now, when I say free horsepower mod, that doesn't technically mean that the mod itself is free. It's just going to utilize the horsepower that you already have. Now, here's a question that I asked in live stream a while back. Would you rather have a 500 horsepower fox body that utilized all the suspension and all the weight reduction and all the mods that we're talking about in this video? Or would you rather have one that made 1,000 horsepower that needed some of those mods still to get that power to the ground and hold it? Now, let me know in the comments where you're at maybe with your build, and maybe I can help somebody in this video just getting started in the fox body genre, helping build their fox body. But let's head over to the shop. I'll show you some of the mods that I'm talking about, and even show you some of the consequences of not having said mods in your car correctly. Now, the very first mod on your fox body Mustang that you should be putting on it, if you don't already have, is subframe connectors. Now, subframe connectors cost anywhere between like 75 bucks and, well, $500. It depends on what brand you get and how far you want to get on your build. But most of them out there, they'll do what they got to do. And let me tell you why. A fox body Mustang is not a full frame car. It is a unibody. Subframe connectors help to connect the rear to the front, and it helps to keep the chassis from actually flexing, which I'm going to show you an example of what that looked like in my white car and the reason why it sits over here in jack stands. But it basically makes the car more of a full framed car. It's pretty much, like I said, the #1 mod you should put on your car if you haven't already, or if you're building one in 2026. Now, the subframe connectors I use here in the coupe are the Stifler's full-length subframe connector. Now, they've all been welded in professionally, and you got the little bend in it for the body. And they line up with the actual seat bolts. These are a really good set of subframe connectors to use on your stock fox body, or even one that you're modifying like we are here. Now, eventually, when we start making more power with the coupe, we're gonna probably put the TMZ through the floor subframe connectors. They'll both be in here at that point, and it won't be that big of a deal, but at least I know the chassis is not gonna flex at all. Now, I've had this white car for about 25 years. A set of subframe connectors that I pretty much got on eBay or whatever for like 75 bucks. Probably has something to do with, like, I just started tearing the whole middle floor pan apart, which I showed in other videos, and a lot of chassis flex in this car. Would have benefited from a lot better of a subframe or even through the floors. Probably could have eliminated some of that. They did work really well for the 20 years I've had them in here, and I have no complaints. The car's had a lot of launches at the track, probably well over 500 passes, so it's got a lot of body flex in it. Door's still closed pretty good though. It's gonna make a comeback again one day, but for now, it's on to the coupe. Now, the second mod we're gonna talk about is torque box reinforcements. Just like subframe connectors, it's not really a mod that's free, but you can buy it and it's gonna help your car be more consistent, more safe, and have less flex in it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, knowing these torque boxes, there's like 3 spot welds in them. Crazy how we've went all these decades, burnouts and freedom, and not tore them out literally in the first 10 years. Now, here on my white car, we have some pretty bad torque box issues. If you look up in here, you'll see quite a bit of ripping. That's just a little bit of it. But also my upper torque box reinforcement here, the welding, you know, that has helped kind of slow it down, but it's pretty much inevitable that this car needed aftermarket torque boxes. And you can see how bad my torque box is warped. They like to rip up here on the frame next to the torque, you know, the control arm here. At this point, we're talking about 40-plus-year-old fox bodies. They were never really designed to put the power down or do the things that they were supposed to do in 2026. But there are some good parts out there that you can completely replace that. So if that actually happens to your fox body and you're getting a build in 2026, 2027, ripping and some pulling apart, don't worry about it. Over here on my coupe, we have aftermarket. So even if you damaged your torque boxes where they pulled out from the frame, you can cut them out and you can buy them Like these are Team Z, so they're fully adjustable. You can see all the different adjustments up in here, and it's welded in nice to the frame. This isn't gonna pull apart. This is gonna be a good setup for this car for years to come. But there's hope for your car if you do end up tearing one or ripping one out. Now, torque boxes aren't gonna make you faster, just like subframes, but they're gonna make the car more consistent, and you'll be able to dial in more horsepower because it'll eliminate some flex and some inconsistencies in the car. So that's really important, trying to get these cars to act right when we're making more horsepower. Because let's be honest, in 2026, it's not all that difficult to make some power. So the third mod that we're gonna talk about is one of my favorite mods. And it's a mod that we're gonna be putting on Dad's car next week. A Tubular K-member will shave off at least 100 pounds in the front of your car. Putting the K-member in your car will help with handling. It'll help with the suspension in the front, which the subframes and the torque box is gonna help with the suspension in the rear. And you'll have a lot of adjustability to it from your shock settings, from your strut settings, and nose weight is a big deal when you're racing it at the track and on the street to help your car go a little bit faster. And at this point, you could put in a manual rack or even a new power steering rack. You can put new rack bushings and lower the bushings. Some K-members come with multiple different motor plates and motor mounts that you could use for different engines, big exhaust, long tube headers. It just makes the quality of life easier when you're building your foxbody Mustang. So definitely one of my favorite mods to do. And it's one that we're gonna be doing a weight reduction video on Dad's car. And we're gonna be taking that Tubular K-member to the track after we get it installed and lined up. And we're going to make a video on how much more faster we picked up on the same power level. So that's gonna be pretty exciting stuff for us here in the channel with Dad's car coming up here in the next few weeks. Installation video, weight reduction video, and comparing times at the track. The old K-member versus the new one. Now we're talking about our fourth mod, springs and struts and shocks, suspension. Springs support the car and influence the weight transfer in it, whereas the struts and the shocks support how fast that happens. Now, some of the OG shocks that we used to run back in the day were like the Lakewood 9010s and the strange 10-way single adjustables, and we still actually ordered in that box over there a set of 10-way single adjustable strange shocks and struts, and those are going on Dad's car with this K-member setup. A car could have really good parts in it and make all the power in the world, but if it's matched with some parts that aren't up to the task, then it's gonna perform poorly. Let me give you an example. My black GT, we made like 500 horsepower on. It works the best with some single adjustable strange struts in the front. And we've had a lot of success with the strange single adjustable that we got from Summit Racing for many years. So that stuff worked well with the combo at 500, 600 horsepower. But when we started making 4-digit power in the white car, we had to go to a double adjustable. Now this has a compression and a rebound setting, so I can control a lot of the movement from the spring. And these are just Team Z drag springs, as we haven't went coilover in the rear of this car just yet. So we're gonna stick with this setup for now. Let's get the car running. We're doing some good suspension mods that we're talking about in this video. All that stuff's here in my coupe. So one of the last mods I'm gonna talk about is the rear control arms in gears and differential. Now I know it's more than one mod that we're talking about here, but you can see how I'm kind of matching all these parts together. Like these parts don't create horsepower. They just make the horsepower that you make match the car. Having a good set of gears in the car that match the combo will help with acceleration. It'll get the car out of the hole at the track. It'll get the car down the street faster because it's geared that way. Now I'm gonna show you here in my coupe, the control arms, how they have a lot of adjustability here, and it'll help get the power to the wheels. And you can actually see the Team Z, I have the Team Z anti-roll bar with the adjustable upper torque boxes. And with those control arms, I can set bar angles with those adjustments. I could get the tire to plant correctly. I can get the car to have less rollout or less travel to maybe put a radial on the track or on the car. Having the ability to have that much adjustment in the back of your car will help your car get down the street and get out of the hole down the track safely and more efficiently. Now the last two things we're gonna talk about in this video is cage and weight reduction. This is a custom chrome moly cage that we had put in years ago. Now it used to be just a roll bar. Now you gotta have a roll bar in your car, I think, if you run 1150 or faster. And then when you get into the 990s and faster, you gotta have a full cage in the car. And usually they tie into the torque boxes. I think they got them right above the shock area here in my coupe. Very similar to the white car, full cage. I highly recommend a cage in your foxbody, as it will help match the mods like the control arms, the subframe connectors, the torque box reinforcements, and it'll tie all that stuff in and eliminate the inconsistencies that these cars have when they launch, when they're on the track, when they're on the street, and just overall safety of the car. We can talk about heads, cam, intakes, exhaust, boost, nitrous, horsepower, but none of that matters if you cannot get that power to the wheels or get it there safely. Now, these 5 mods that we talked about won't add 1 horsepower to your dyno sheet, but what it will do is help your car stay straight, help your car utilize the horsepower to the wheels, and basically let it survive under that load. So if you found that roller fox body in the field or that project on the marketplace and you want to build a fox body Mustang, consider the mods that I just talked about today, you know, maybe penciling them in to get budgeted into your build. If you enjoyed the video, leave me a comment below. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Check out that join button, become a member of the channel, as it helps to go to do content like this. But outside of that, we're going to be installing some new mods in Dad's car coming up soon and getting back to the coupe. I love y'all. I'll see you next time.